if it comes from a place of bringing out the best in others, empowering others, helping others to become more of who they can be, then that's a place of love. And it's not because it's important to be nice. It's because it helps everybody when you do this. And I'd like to talk about a couple examples that I've spoken of before in some of my speeches. One of the most effective leaders in industry, in my view, was a man by the name of Herb Keller. He founded Southwest Airlines many decades ago. And in the business journals, they would write about what their business model was and the vision for low-cost airlines and things like that. But to me, his leadership style was epitomized by the fact that he would unexpectedly show up to any job that anybody in the company was doing and do that job along with them. He would show up at 3 a.m. to help baggage handlers load the baggage onto the planes and bring them coffee and donuts. So what kind of a message did that send? That sent the message to these baggage handlers that you are important to us, that you matter, that you as an individual are important to this entire organization. And as the titular head of this, as the leader, he recognized that by his actions. That was coming from a place of love. In the civil rights movement, we all think of Martin Luther King as being the primary icon of that. Now, why is it that we think of King and not others? Primarily because of his ethic of nonviolence. But you see, King learned nonviolence from a man by the name of Bayard Rustin, that we've all heard of, right? Well, if you've heard my speeches, you've heard of Bayard Rustin. But except for that, you probably hadn't. Bayard Rustin taught Martin Luther King nonviolence. Bayard Rustin in the 1940s, approximately a decade before anybody had heard of Rosa Parks, was deliberately riding in the wrong places of the bus in the South. And in 1947, in the state of North Carolina, he was convicted of violating the Jim Crow laws and sentenced to 30 days on a chain gang for riding in the wrong place of the bus. But that's not what inspires me as a leader for him. What inspires me, and you'll hear more about this in a future speech, is what he did when he served his time on the chain gang. Okay, imagine this, 1940s, in the South, a black man from the North in a Southern chain gang facing a captain who, at least at first encounter, appeared to be every Hollywood stereotype of your Southern sheriff. And the way that Rustin encountered this individual was not from fear, but from love. Because even in that environment, Rustin saw through what this man was presenting to him and saw the essential humanity underlying that. And he saw the fear behind the bigoted things that were being presented to him. And he wrote about this in an article, and I will expand more about that. And what that shows is that leadership has nothing to do with what your title is. Leadership doesn't have to do with where you are in the pecking order. Leadership has to do with how you approach others, how you encounter others, how you can love those who are around you and act so that you can bring the best out in them and thereby in yourself. And I'll close my speech.